Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you the dangers of connecting to a public Wi-Fi network. This could be like at a coffee shop or a library or just anywhere, any public spot. Um, Over here, this is my computer that I'm going to use to perform the attack. And on the left we have the computer that's the victim. Alright, so this is your laptop when you connect to a public Wi-Fi. So let's go do it. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is create the fake Wi-Fi that people will connect to when they're at Doser Coffee. I'm just going to name it Doser Coffee Guest. So that way when people go to Doser Coffee, the first thing that they look for is the Wi-Fi name that matches where they're at and that it's a guest Wi-Fi. Right, so let me open up my command prompt here, and we're going to enter the command to achieve this. Let me see here. So now what we're gonna do is allow, and for the Wi-Fi name, this is where we can name it Doser Coffee Guest. And then the next thing that we're going to do is not require a password. That way we make it even easier for people to want to connect to it. All right, so let's go enter key. There you go. So the hosted network mode has been set to allowed. SSID of the hosted network has been changed successfully. Okay. So now that we're broadcasting our Wi-Fi, the next thing that we need to do is start up our system so that we can clone and serve a fake login page, right? So today what we're going to do is we're going to clone the Facebook login page. Let me just get started here. So what I'm going to do is start up our service so that we can remote into it. Okay, I'm just going to enter the password. So we should be good here. Let me get our address. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is remote into this computer. Okay, 25.123.252. So what we're doing is we're remoting into this machine at this address. And this is actually hosted on the attacking laptop. So we're not remoting into the victim's laptop. Okay, so we're remoting in here. Now what we're gonna have to do is log in. And we're in. Okay, so now the next step is actually starting the service that's going to allow us to clone the Facebook login page. Right, so it's a toolkit called Social Engineering Toolkit. And to run it, what we need to do is run a command, right? So we do sc toolkit. There we go. So now this is so easy, anybody can do it. And I'm not going to go into the details of everything here. We're just showing you the quick attack, so we might skip over a few details. Um, so in order to get into the service that's going to allow us to clone Facebook, the Facebook login page, we go into social engineering attacks, which is option 1. And then we go into option 2 for website attack vectors. And then we're going to do Option 3 for credential harvester attack method. Okay, so as you can see, we have option 2 for site cloner. Okay, so now we just enter the URL that I want to clone. So I'm just going to do https facebook.com. The website is done cloning. So now we go take a look at the victim's laptop. Okay. Okay, so now that we're broadcasting our Wi-Fi name, our victim's computer should be able to see the Wi-Fi name for Doser Guest Coffee. So here it is. Let's select it and connect. Okay, it's connected. So now we can open up our browser and we can go to any website. It's regular internet access here. Yahoo, let's go to Google. Okay, and our clone website. Let's go to Facebook. Okay, so now that got redirected through our hosted server on the attacker's laptop. So let's go take a deeper look. Okay, so now we're back on the attacker's laptop. Now all we have to do is wait for the victim's laptop to go to like facebook.com. Right, so let me do that, and you're gonna see that when the connection is made. So there it is. It detected that a connection was made. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in a fake email address and password. So let's go take a look at that screen. Okay, so here's the fake Facebook site. So what we're going to do is enter jdozer at, let's do dozer coffee.com. And for password, let's do I hope I don't get hacked. Okay, so I'm gonna hit login. Okay, so now it actually transfers the email address and password over to the attacker's laptop in plain text. But what happened now is after you hit login, it actually automatically forwards you to the legit Facebook site. That way you don't think twice, right? It makes you think like, oh, I just entered my password wrong, or I just entered the wrong email. I fat finger something. So you don't even think twice that someone actually has your information. And that's what's scary about this, right? So let's go back to the attacker's laptop and we'll take a quick look. Okay, so we're back in the attacker's laptop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end the service here. So let me just activate this. Okay, so it tells us that a file has been generated with the information that was input by the victim. So let me just copy the location here. And then what we do is we paste it in to our directory finder here. And it opens up the file that was generated. So we scroll down and we should see the email address and password. Here it is. So there's the email address that was entered and the password. And that's how it's done. So now what the attacker can do is attempt to log into the victim's Facebook page with those credentials. On the victim side, this is where multi-factor authentication or MFA comes in handy, and it's really important to have, is because if I have these credentials and I go try to log in as a victim, it's another measure of protection for them where they'll get a notification saying like, "Hey, were you trying to log in with your account?" Right? And if they weren't, they can deny the request and change their password, change their email address, whatever they need to do to keep their account safe. But if they don't have MFA or multi-factor authentication, I can just go into the account without any issues and take over.